Hey there, I'm Isabel Garino from the Residential Assisted Living Academy, and we are going to be going through the 5 keys to success in residential assisted living. We're going to be talking all about location, your team, clients, getting paid, and systems. When it comes to real estate investing, it is all about location. But when it comes to RAL, it's all about density, demand, and demographics, the 3 Ds. This is not if you build it, they will come, right? It's not the field of dreams. We have to make sure that this area has the density, has the demand, and has the proper demographics, what we're looking for when we want to start a care home. When we talk about the 5 levels, we don't want to leave grandma in a level 1 area, right? Somewhere where you feel scared to get out of your car, or ladies, you don't want to go without a buddy or a friend with you there, right? That is not the area where we are leaving grandma. And then a level 5, that's the tippy top, beautiful, luxurious part of town with gated neighborhoods and, maybe even a guard at the gate who says, "Who are you coming to see here?" Right? We don't need to put grandma in the most luxurious place in town. We want to stick to the sweet spot. Financially, this is what that looks like. The national average to live in an assisted living home right now in America today is $4,500 per month per person. So when you're charging below $4,500 per month, that is a below average home, a level 1, a level 2. Make sense? We want to stay in the sweet spot, the level 3, the level 4. Now I know that level 5, woo, that looks nice. I want to be at a level 5 where people are paying me $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month to live in my home. I'm sure you do. But look at the size of the chart. It shrinks at the top. Your opportunity zone gets smaller and smaller when you get to that tippy top because less people can afford your services when they're going to cost that much. Most seniors are in that sweet spot level. So that's what we want to focus on. Number 2 is your team. When it comes to your team, you cannot be it. You cannot be the only person who's running around doing everything. Absolutely not. You've got to build your team and then repeat it and scale. This is so important, and it's very different than a lot of other, real estate ventures because many times you can do things DIY. You can do things on your own, and that's A-okay. But when it comes to RAL, there's a lot more involved with this, right? So having your licensed team who knows what they're doing, who has a role in your home, in your system, is really important. Creating the home environment that you need and you want, and they're upstanding it and withholding it on a day-to-day basis so that you can sit in the owner's box, not working in the business, but working on the business. Number 3 is clients. The resident is actually not your client. So who really is your client? It's daughter Judy, what we affectionately call that 50 to 70-year-old who's upper middle class who makes the decisions for mom or dad. Now, no offense to my gentleman here. If it's a son, we call it son Bob. But daughter Judy's son Bob, this is who's usually shopping for mom or dad's home, choosing mom or dad's home, possibly paying for mom or dad's home, complaining about it, or praising you on it. You see, in every other form of real estate, I never received a check for $6,000 wrapped in a love letter saying, "Thank you for everything that you do for my family, for me, for my mom." This is an investment that feels really, really good. The impact that you can have, the contribution to the seniors, to their families, it's incredible. And it's really, really special. And that's why our company motto is to do good and do well. It's got to be that equal balance. We want to make sure that we're helping people, but we also need to make sure that we're getting paid, right? So number 4 is all about that, getting paid. Do not focus on Medicaid, focus on private pay residents and maximize LTC insurance. So where does the money come from? How are seniors paying for this? Well, some pay with Medicare, some are subsidized by the VA. That LTC or long-term care insurance, about 10% of the population has it. And if someone does, that's a great way for you to be able to help them pay for their care. A lot of people use their cash, their IRAs, their investments. They sell their physical home and use that capital to pay for their assisted living. Or, of course, there's the category of people who say, "I'm just going to let my kids figure it out." You see, there's a phrase used in nutrition and fitness that says failing to prepare means preparing to fail. And I think that phrase really, really works in our assisted living world too. Walt was an absolute legend in the assisted living industry in Arizona. He owned a home for 15 years when we invited him to come to our training to learn all about the steps that maybe he was going to give us advice on what we're saying or doing that's wrong. But instead, when he came, he said this. In the 3-day class, Gene showed me how I was leaving over $15,000 a month on the table, over $2 million in those 15 years. I was sick to my stomach, but I was grateful to find out too. Thank you to Rolla. If you or someone you know is in the care home industry and you're not getting or seeing the numbers that I'm sharing with you here, maybe you need to come learn too. Maybe you need to come and soak it in and see if there's something left to be learned. When it comes to systems, it's all about saving yourself time, energy, and money. If you're type A like me, systems are critical for success. When it comes to team building, we've got to identify, train, and retain the best of the best staff so that you don't have to deal with any staffing issues. On the real estate side, many of you are pros at that. The location, the acquisition, the renovation, it's all about those tiny little differences in RAL versus other forms of real estate. And then the funding. What about 7 ways to fund your RAL so you don't have to use your own capital? That'd be nice. Or working with partners. Many of you don't want to go at this alone. You want to work with a business partner or a spouse. I want to show you how to do that. As well as the operations, you're going to need a lot of documents to get approved for your license through the state, like policies and procedures, menus and schedules, emergency plans. All of these things are important to your success. But what do you really want? Do you want to feel good about your investments and be proud of the work that you do? Do you want to have enough income to live the life you've dreamed of, to stop working for not enough pay and trading time for dollars? Or do you want to leave a true legacy and grow appreciating wealth? I mean, for me, that's really important. And when I think about what everybody else is doing, wholesale, fix and flip, rental homes, short-term units, apartment storage units, mobile homes, and raw land and lots, everybody else is kind of doing the same old, same old. It's like a little fly who's stuck in a car, keeps banging his head against the windshield, thinking he's going to get out, doing the same methods. But he just needs a quantum leap. He just needs to go and go out the window and escape to freedom. Maybe it's time for your quantum leap. Maybe it's time for you to stop driving yourself crazy, doing the same old, getting the same old results. If it's time for something new, we're here for you. I'm Isabel from the Residential Assisted Living Academy.